The academic year calendar is one resource Eduvos has proven to never compromise on. Do you know why? Because it is the main source of truth shared by all 12 campuses. So every event that each campus creates must either revolve around it or must never conflict with it. I unknowingly planned my 2025 year from Block 2 till November, and what I noticed made me laugh a bit because the authority the event of the calendar had in Midrand campus can be compared to a dictatorship. As a result, I dedicate a great part of my above average mark to the single source of truth that Eduvos can never compromise on, the academic calendar. However, the calendar in its current state was not enough. I needed a calendar that can be edited, and what I ended up getting was a live, editable academic calendar. The name is Daniel King, a second-year student here at Eduvos. The current date is the 4th of February 2026. Let's assume I wanted to find out what went down on the 2nd of February, 2 days ago. The first thing I would have to do is locate the month, February, then locate the day, the 2nd of March. So we see that it is a Monday, and we see that it is color-coded with orange and yellow. We scroll down to find out the key says that yellow represents lecture-led lessons and orange represents mock publication. Now mock publication for what exactly? I'd have to scroll down and find out what mock publication was released on the 2nd of February. And I see here that it is the special examination mock publication it was referring to. Good. In essence, the calendar is trustworthy and needs a little analysis to get what you want. The only problem is that sometimes it can take a bit too long to get what you're looking for. What if you had a calendar that reveals everything you want to see instantaneously? You don't have to count, you don't have to analyze. All you have to do is click on the date or even view the date and you will see exactly what you're looking for. Allow me to demonstrate. This is the live academic calendar. Everything else that is not today has been grayed out. As I previously said, today is the 4th of February 2026, right? And that's exactly what is highlighted the moment you click on it. What's more is that as a year 2 student, the event of today isn't necessarily relevant to me. This view gives you the ability to add and remove from the academic calendar. If you're a year 1 student, there's no need for you to know what the year 2, year 3, honors or master students are doing, unless you plan on mingling with them. You have the option to choose whether you want to keep information or discard it, but with due diligence. As a year 2 student, this can be discarded because a pre-arrival webinar for year 1 students isn't necessarily relevant to me, so I can delete it. And I can add exactly what I want to add. Say for example, I have a date coming up on the 10th of February. All I have to do is go there, click delete, and then type what I want to type. I can then highlight it how I want to highlight it because it is an important event in my life. And you can do that with every event in the calendar. Let us go to settings. The most important thing you can do here is set your name and try not to delete this date, it's very important. But you have the option to edit it just to see how the calendar works and grays out. You should not edit this date at all, but what you absolutely must do is set your study level. Are you a year 1, year 2, honors or master student? You set it right here. Right now I have it selected as year 2 and my name is Daniel King. When I navigate to the central information, I see exactly what I need to see. Let's quickly explain what's going on here. The essential connections are the most important links that have been absolutely useful to me. My enrollment information is where you can find your modules for Block 1 through to Block 4. Most people don't even know what they're doing in Block 2, Block 3 or Block 4. But the moment you access the link Eduvos freely provides us, you just need to know which link it is, then you'll be able to find out every module you're doing for each block. The visual planner is a nice addition Eduvos made to this year's experience. It tells you the prerequisite for each module that you're taking and also tells you other important stuff. The textbook list is quite descriptive. It tells you what textbook you need for which particular module. When we scroll down, we see that we don't necessarily have to go to the calendar to see what's happening today or in the next coming days. Right now, today is the 4th of February 2026 and it says no calendar events today. Well, that's because I deleted the calendar event just a few moments ago. If I undo what I did and put back the first block pre-arrival webinar for year 1 and then access central information again, you would see that the event of today set in the calendar is first block pre-arrival webinar for year ones, and then the next coming event and the event after that. Next is the live calendar summary. It is very important to set your study level in settings so that it can give you exactly the dates you have for each block, each summative, and each holiday. I'm a year 2 student, right? My block started on the 2nd of February 2026. If we change it in settings and set it to year 1, you will notice that year 1 start on the 16th of February 2026. In this table, you get to understand the structure of the school, how many days each block is roughly allocated, how long the initial summative assessment are allowed to take, and the different durations of each holiday dependent on the blocks you are going to. All of which is tailored to your particular study level once you set it in settings. Now, the important questions. What event am I allowed to miss? What are the consequences if I miss a major event? When do we have a particular event? Or how many times do we have that event in the block? All these questions and more can be answered in the academic event summary, right here. In this view, you can search through the calendar and get an instant answer to nearly all of your questions. Let's look at the calendar Eduvos gave us for a moment. Right here in the calendar keys, we see in purple How to Live Insight session. What happens if you miss this event? What are the consequences? Those are the questions that you need to know and have answered. It is not impossible to do that just having this calendar, but it would be a nice to have if you know exactly what the consequences are just by looking at a row. If we go back to the live academic calendar and search for How to Live, and just click outside the cell, it will present every How to Live we have for the block. Right now, we have 2 How to Live sessions, on the 25th of February 2026 and the 3rd of March 2026. It is for all students and the event type is optional. If we miss it, there is low consequences. The reason for this event is for wellness. Let's look at another event. We delete the text in the search field, and we only want to locate the impactful events. The events in orange, sky blue, and red are very important. The ones in orange tells us a medium risk, the ones in red tell us a high risk, and the one in blue tells us an important must know. The risk of 16 February, last day to pay for year 1 honors or masters, is that if you do not pay on the 16th of February 2026, you risk deregistration for that block. It's a very important thing to know. The orange, another example, the 20th of February 2026, Block 1 census, this is where they count every student in a campus. So the moment they count and they get that figure, no other person is allowed to enroll. The risk of missing this date is that the enrollment is finalized, and what they counted is the exact number of students they will have for that block. Let's take a look at the ideal timetable. In this view, you are given an extraction of the week's event directly from the calendar, meaning that if you edit any events that you see here in the calendar, it will be shown here. Right now, again, it is the 4th of February, it is highlighted, and the other days have been grayed out. This is a very useful information to have when you are creating your daily timetable. Here we have Monday, Tuesday through to Sunday, and you can set up exactly what you want to do around these times and mark your progress. When you mark your progress, this task completion progress will fill up until you get to the last task, which is around Sunday, here. This view gives us exactly what days have passed. When we pass a day without finishing every task that we set up for ourselves, it will be highlighted in red. If we pass a day without you completing any task, it will be red. But if you do complete a task, it will change to blue. And when you scroll up, you will see that the progress changed from 11% to 13%. But don't lie to yourself, you didn't complete them, so just leave it unticked. It's a way to assess your progress in keeping up with the plans that you set up, the goals that you have. So leave it unticked, you're not fooling anyone but yourself. When we want to set up time for class lectures, it is important to always start with an asterisk, this sign, right here. If we do that, it will be given its unique color, and you won't necessarily have to tick this, because these are not your personal tasks. You have to attend, you know that. So there is no real reason to click the progression because the system knows that it is not a personal task. So the task completion progress will not even fill up. You can just leave the tick boxes empty. All of this is the live academic calendar. You see everything, but it makes it easier for you to locate the most relevant information. And on top of that, it gives you the ability to plan on a grand scale all the way down to your hourly life. If you want a copy of your live academic calendar, scan the code to join the group. And I'll be in touch.